Escape the everyday at DY Scott, a luxurious haven for your hair, nails, and overall well-being. Imagine yourself settling into a plush armchair, the aroma of essential oils and freshly brewed coffee filling the air. Expert stylists meticulously craft your perfect look, whether you're seeking a bold modern style or a classic timeless cut. Beyond the perfect haircut, indulge in a revitalizing manicure or pedicure. Our skilled technicians use only the finest ethically sourced products, ensuring a truly pampering experience for your skin and the planet. Enjoy a refreshing drink, a mojito, chamomile tea, or something bubbly while you unwind in our relaxing atmosphere. Looking to socialize? Challenge friends to a game of table tennis or snooker in our convivial relaxation area. Reconnect with yourself and leave feeling confident, truly pampered and beautifully you. DY Scott is more than just a salon. It's an experience that nourishes your mind, body and soul. Find us at Roadblock Jalingo, Konaru, or call 081-4563-6195 to book your appointment today. DY Scott, where style meets serenity. Escape the everyday at DY Scott, a luxurious haven for your hair, nails, and overall well-being. Imagine yourself settling into a plush armchair, the aroma of essential oils and freshly brewed coffee filling the air. Expert stylists meticulously craft your perfect look, whether you're seeking a bold modern style or a classic timeless cut. Beyond the perfect haircut, indulge in a revitalizing manicure or pedicure. Our skilled technicians use only the finest ethically sourced products, ensuring a truly pampering experience for your skin and the planet. Enjoy a refreshing drink, a mojito, chamomile tea, or something bubbly while you unwind in our relaxing atmosphere. Looking to socialize? Challenge friends to a game of table tennis or snooker in our convivial relaxation area. Reconnect with yourself and leave feeling confident, truly pampered and beautifully you. DY Scott is more than just a salon. It's an experience that nourishes your mind, body and soul. Find us at Roadblock Jalingo, Konaru, or call 081-4563-6195 to book your appointment today. DY
Good morning. Welcome to another beautiful Saturday on Some TV. As the great poet Maya Angelou once said, do the best you can until you know better. That when you know better, you do better. Today, we'll be sharing inspiring stories of people, breaking news. We also tell you things about those who are doing better and making a difference in their communities. So sit back, relax, get cozy, get a cup of coffee, kuno, tea, whatever it is you like, and start this Saturday morning with a dose of motivation and positivity. My name is Abraham Joda. And before I bring on my guest for today, my partner for today, let me tell you a short story. A small bird was perched on a branch singing a beautiful melody. A strong wind came and the branch swayed violently, but the bird held tight. When the wind subsided, a passerby asked the bird, "How did you manage to hold on?" The bird replied, "I didn't just hold on to the branch, I held on to my song." Moral is, no matter what the challenges you face, hold on to what gives you strength, hope, and joy. And on this note, I will say let's start this beautiful weekend together on the morning show on Some TV. And with me to start the morning show is Mr. Daniel Ira Kukwe, the Director of News and Public Affairs on Some TV. You're welcome, Mr. Daniel.
Thank you very much. Very grateful.
Okay, and just like the bird, what are you holding on to today?
Well, I'm holding on to faith, I'm holding on to hope, I'm holding on to the fact that things have no option than to change for better with time by God's grace.
Okay, by the grace of God, we are holding up to faith, we are holding up to hope, and we're holding up to the fact that we must ensure that will serve you the best from Some TV, and that is what we're about to do now. So let's go to the morning papers. I want us to start this morning with some sports. I love sports, and weekends are, to me, meant for sports. To watch football, discuss football, have a little argument over football. What club do you support?
Well, I am not a football fan, and the truth is...
Not even Usa United.
If there is anything like that, like Usa United. In those days when we were growing up, we used to have this team called Butchers. Butchers.
How many times did they butcher their opponent?
I think they have to do with, there is this area where they call Mayanka, and I think that is where they train in Dutse Primary School.
Near the abattoir. Yes.
So they call it the Butchers, and that is the highest. I remember USA 94, then Atlanta 96. That is where my football stopped.
Well, I'm a football fan. For those of you that know me, you know I'm a fan of the Gunners. Arsenal Football Club. Let us start with sports today. Yes, we have our Punch Sports and paper, Punch Sport Extra. And so we started on a sporting note, and you can see I'm dressed up for sports today, because today I will ensure sports, Punch Sports. We want there's a paper called Punch Sports. We have it. So this story here says my grandma thought I died in 1979 National Stadium Stampede. According to Benga Adeyinka, he's a comedian. He said his mom thought he died in the Stampede National Stadium. I guess probably he's talking about when Nigeria played a match in 1979. Probably his parents thought he died in the Stampede. We have another story that says Saudi giants battle over Osimhen. So yes, it needs to be battled over. Then Odaudu of Beaters, Hoopers face Malian in ball opener. That is for basketball. That was the game I played while I was a teenager. I thought I would be a basketball player, but my height and opportunity.
It's not too late.
Then you have this match, yes, the one that quite interests me here is Everton versus Arsenal at the toughest battles Gunners at Goodison Park. That is the English Premier League, where Everton will face Arsenal Football Club. We have also United plot 100 million Valverde move. We have De Bruyne announces Man City exit. So also Liverpool, Joro. Let us look at this story. Real Madrid versus Valencia into Lions Den. Sadiq spared Valencia's charge against champions at Bernabeu. Omar Sadiq is a Nigerian Super Eagles striker, and he plays for Valencia in the Spanish La Liga, and they're going to play against the Real Madrid today. So we also have Rivers captain charges teammates ahead of Remo clash. Rivers United captain is charging his teammates ahead of their clash with Remo Stars Remo Stars is based in Ogun State, Remo Town in of Ijebu Remo in Ogun State. We also another story is autopsy confirms Olariwaju died of cardiac arrest. That was the Nigerian boxer that died in Ghana. Autopsy confirms that he died of cardiac arrest. May so rest in peace, and may God grant his family fortitude to bear the loss of this great sportsman.
Talking about cardiac arrest, somebody was explaining how this kind of ailment is something that can happen to anybody. It doesn't really matter whether you are hale and hearty. Cardiac arrest is just like the normal accident that happens and you will just go.
We've seen sportsmen died of cardiac arrest. The latest, Sam Okwaraji, and we also Mark Vivian Foe. And we've had local players also died of cardiac arrest, and media so rest in peace. So, well, that is for sport, and I'm assuring you that the Arsenal Football Club of England is going to defeat Everton.
They are playing today.
They are playing today by 12:30, and that they will defeat Everton. I'm sure of that. And for those of you who think we don't have hopes for the league anymore, just know that we have. Now let's go to the Saturday Independent. Saturday Independent. We have Saturday Independent. And on Saturday Independence, we have this story that says, Uromi saga, why government must quell rising tension. Why government must quell rising tension. We have Supreme Court sack Abure as Labour Party national chairman. So you have 20 years in jail. The only cure for piracy, say Jide Kosoko. Jide Kosoko is a renowned movie actor, and it thinks, well, they faced a lot due to piracy of their movies. Honestly, if you know what these people go through in the eyes of piracy.
It is their intellectual property, it is their patents. They have gone through so many stress to see to it that they produce whatever movies that has been pirated. But you see somebody will just wake up in the night and copy it and start selling it and getting money reaping from where he has not sold. That is actually something that is actually very bad. It does not encourage productivity. It does not encourage creativity.
Yes.
It does not encourage hard work.
It does not.
So the government should look at a way of seeing to it that properties like this are protected by all means. 20 years is not bad. Even more. Because it's just like somebody stealing. When you produce a movie, you don't know how much that movie is going to give you until you leave this.
Yes.
When you leave your children.
Yeah. People still take
so somebody will just take the whole of that and start enjoying it. And it's not good.
It's not good. And you see a lot of veteran actors, professionals, people in the movie industry, whenever they're no longer in the limelight, they have nothing to show for it. And you begin to wonder. But your film was very popular then. But thank God for these streaming apps now that ensure that, well, they get some royalties, and they are smiling to the banks now. But those in the era of the Jide Kosoko and the likes, they had to deal with a lot of marketers. It got to a point they had to bring in the pirates to become marketers, because if you don't take your films to them, then they do it their own thing. And so what they did was, okay, they hand it over to those that were into the piracy to help them do the marketing. It was a very tough thing to do. Now, let us look at this story. Unknown gunmen attacks Benue Links vehicle, kills to abduct 11. That's a sad one. I see another one say, I treat all people equally, say Soludo, as community leaders endorse him. Then on the weekend independent, Saturday independent also, we have change of batting. Ojolari takes over from Kyari. New GCEO pledges to consolidate on predecessor's achievements. Well, on this one again, we say Nigeria to the world. Adeswai told me Stella Damascus speaks on animated wonder Iyanu. I think there's a movie out here from Nigeria which is animated named Iyanu. Well, we should look out for that. I like to support the Nigerian products, and Nigeria to the world is really taking over these days.
Yeah, we have the largest entertainment industry in Africa, and I think one of the largest in the world. It is because of our population and the fact that Nigeria has this ingenuity. There's a way our musicians are working at par, competing at par with the rappers in the US, the Davido of this world,
Whiskey, Burna Boy, Arya Star.
I saw one show Burna Boy had somewhere in Europe. I think it was in Belgium. You need to see the crowd.
It's a normal thing for...
I thought it's going to be only black people, only Nigerians, no. But you see real massive population of white people coming to watch. I don't know whether they hear what he says in his song.
The music has no language. Once the rhythm is good, you nod your head to. There's a universal language. That is one good thing about music. And that does it. And Nigerians have been able... Nigerian music has gotten to a point whereby all over the world, just like the young people say, then they rush us. They rush Nigerian music. You see DJs all over the world playing Nigerian music in their clubs and occasions and the rest of it. So we have gotten to that point where American music was in the past, where everything you do. And then you begin to see there's this way that the Nigerian culture is being imbibed. It's being sold all over the world. And if you look at trends now, there's a song, I see that a lot of people have jumped on the trend. I don't know how to sing the song. They say paparazzi, something like that. And I see Chinese men, white men, the rest, they're jumping on the trend. Okay. And in the past, you've seen other songs. I'm a piano song from Nigeria, where all over the world, people were jumping on the trend. And there was a point I even saw the American police in their office doing the challenge, the dance challenge. So that is how far Nigerian music have gone. And we need to keep celebrating these young people for doing this.
Honestly.
Now, let's go to the Tribune. The Tribune, Saturday Tribune, this morning has unity, prosperity of Yoruba land top of my priorities. Oba Wade, the new Alaafin of Oyo, he picked Oni 3 times during right. Professor Wande Abimbola. I think that has to do with what their rights. They were told that he picked Oni 3 times, so maybe his reign will be sweet like honey. I believe that is what the implication of that means. We also have Makinde or your PDP other months as Adeojo is buried in Ibadan. Adeojo is a PDP chieftain and the mourn his death in Ibadan. Abure Nnedi Usman hold tight to Labour Party leadership after Supreme Court judgment. That is the story for yesterday.
Yeah, the story has been trending like that, and you see so many, Edun, I think, what's the name of that legal advisor for the
Labour Party?
Yes, for this Abure faction. And the people from... I think, do you know that? I'm not aware there are 3 factions.
Yeah, Lamidi, what's the name? The former deputy national president. There's this Lamidi, what's his name? That had their first issue with Abure. Then we have the Abure's faction, and then we have the Usman Nnedi faction. So it is factionalized. But in this case, I think the court case is between the Usman Nnedi and Abure in court. But there are other interests.
But as it stands now, since the court said it's going to be an internal party affair, I think they have a chance of coming back together since, to a very large extent, I assume or I understand that their problem is less than that of PDP. I think maybe they should come back and see how they can sort these things out.
I think the Supreme Court, I quite... love what the Supreme Court is doing and the consistency in the way it's letting people know that party affairs must be solved with a party constitution. It's an internal affair. Your constitution must be followed. The court should not decide who becomes your leader. Your constitution should decide who becomes your leader. And I think that is what they say. But I was made to believe, although I've not seen the transcript of the court, they said, to believe that they said Abure's tenure has ended according to some sources. So
there are some sources that are saying Abure is not even, he doesn't even have a tenure, considering the fact that he was just the secretary who emerged to become the chairman. The structure, the party constitution said that whenever there is no national chairman, the deputy national chairman will act on his behalf. So both Nnedi and Abure are illegal claimants to the position of the leadership of the party.
Well, I think we have one of them. We've reached out to them, and I believe one of the Labour Party, I'm sure by the time they read this thing, we have them on something. We can't talk about what are the party's position on this. It's going to be quite interesting. Now it's quite clear to everybody that your constitution will guide you. No court will tell you what to do with your party. The constitution of the party should guide you, and I think it's going to bring sanity into our political parties in Nigeria. So let us go to the Vanguard. Okay, the Vanguard this Saturday. Saturday Vanguard has it that federal government reopens Independence Bridge. Work begins in 3 weeks. Independence Bridge in Lagos, Victoria Island, Lagos has created a lot of what do I call it? A gridlock at Lagosians. I remember when I was in Lagos, this kind of things you just get tired of life. When you're stuck in a place, you can't move forward, you can't move backward. That is when you have when you're not moving with a car. That is when it becomes an advantage. Because you just step out of the bus or wherever it is and begin to take a long, long walk. At times, I begin to wonder how people cope in Lagos. Well, it's part of somebody on news report yesterday, I think it was on one of these national dailies, it was mentioned how somebody got home from work at 4 a.m. Yes, and we will just shower and go back to... No, why coming back home? He wouldn't know. it could be a journey of, I've done something similar to that, but it wasn't 4 o'clock. I left, I was working at the island then on Marina Street, and I left office by 6. We closed by 6, we left by 6 to get home with, to get to the mainland, by probably maybe 9, no matter how tough the hold up may be on Third Mainland Bridge and the rest of it. We will get home at least by 9 or some minutes after 9. But on that fateful day, we don't know what happened. I got home 2 past 2.
And you still have to go back to
and
work?
I still had to go back to work the next morning. So what I did was just to shower. I couldn't lie down on the bed because I don't sleep off. And by 5 a.m., I was out of the house again to begin a fresh journey.
No wonder Nigerians have been described as a resilient nation and people with so much commitment to do this. Else, how can you come? I don't know whether this is obtainable in Europe and other places in the world. How you come back from work around 4 a.m. and you're still supposed to resume for another
But one thing I know that Nigerians in Europe and other people who goes to Europe to also in quotes, they do 24-hour shift whereby they move from trains to there to there. The thing is that human being can adapt if you really want to adapt. If you go to anywhere and you see some of the jobs we do outside of this country are things we wouldn't do here. You see a professor driving a taxi there, but if you look at what he earns, what he's able to do with it, you see you adapt. You see people doing 8-hour shift or 3 shifts of 8 hours.
I believe that if I'm going to get the kind of money I will get in Europe driving a taxi, I wouldn't mind driving a taxi if I'm a professor. Maybe the only motivation is what you get from the services you render. So that if you're a professor in Europe, it doesn't really matter whether you're a professor. If you're going to get good money from driving a taxi, you go ahead and do it.
Well, now we have this one, Nollywood in Rivers, Florence, and the missing husband. I think that's a sensational story. Is on page 15. We also have this one, how Trump news tariff may pay Nigeria according to experts, is on page 27. So we have the Uromi killings, the untold story. Villagers identify some of them as kidnappers before the lynching. Survivors insist they are hunters. Vigilantes wonder why they were hiding if they were hunters. Just stories coming up after the whole thing. I think why lynch them?
Yes.
Now you've destroyed whatever evidence that you made, or whatever sympathy, or whatever. Why kill them? Why take law into your hands if they've been arrested? I think all these investigations were going to be done.
If you're able to identify somebody in the neighborhood as a kidnapper, ensure that you call the security operative, says you've gotten them, ensure that they're handed over to the police, and bring forth your evidence to prove that this I suspect this for this reason and this reason and this reason. The police investigates it.
Yeah, you can even do a citizen's arrest. You hold them down. You make a media scene out of it at the police station, wherever. You call the police. You do a video. You do everything. Create awareness around it and ensure you do follow up as a community. This will have helped preserve any. But now I think you will just, a lot of people will say it is just trying to rewrite what happened, because whatever evidence you have has been destroyed by the fact that you've killed those you suspected. So let's move to the Weekend Trust. The Weekend Trust for today, Saturday, have these stories on it. Plateau attack, death toll hits 52 suspects arrested. According to the police, some suspects have been arrested in the Plateau attack. I don't know why this
killings in Plateau. Are we still depending on the government to solve the problem? Honestly, every day used to be a daily occurrence in some years past. It slowed down, but it appears it has resurfaced again. Evil has a way of, if you don't nip it out completely, it has a way of regenerating and coming back. So whatever it is that is the reason for these killings, there is a need for government to look at the root issues. Keep sentiments aside. Maybe you have to do an empirical study, you understand, to ascertain what is actually causing this problem and try to solve it once and for all. It will all be around farmlands, cattle, headers, residents, and other disagreements like that. But the spate of killing is is becoming...
Do you know my biggest fear is it's becoming normal? It's no longer a major story. It is just put somewhere, and well, it is no longer a story that 52 people died. It's no longer news.
So there are so many killings going on in some parts of Nigeria that you don't even come because of the fact that this thing is becoming too rampant.
May God help us. We have the story that says Nigeria, basically everything is corrupted. Onyema Ugochukwu, I think, is a former minister for foreign affairs. He said everything in Nigeria is corrupted. They all have these ideas when they're out of government. There are instances where these people who were in government before practice their own level or their own type of corrupt practices. We're not talking about Onyema Ugochukwu in particular now. But at the end of the day, they will come out to label those who are doing whatever it is that is happening now as corrupt officials. Or give excuses for, say, my hands were tied, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that.
But it is the seed they planted that has grown. Normally when you plant a seed, it will grow to become something else. So there is a need for us to take a decisive action, and just like we keep saying, change starts with you.
We have this KB governor suspend PAMSEC over statistics on lesbianism and homosexualism. That was on page 30 of the Weekend Trust. We also have this one, the major... Okay, we have calls for action grow as malnutrition worsens in Northeast and Northwest. Insult, rejection did not deter us, female tricyclist. We have Labour Party leadership, Abure Usman, claim victory over Supreme Court verdict we've spoken about now. Now, let's look at this. Abuja green areas disappearing. This story that the Abuja green areas are disappearing. How do we balance keeping these green areas and also solving the problem of accommodation within the city of Abuja?
I think Abuja is already has, what do you call it? The population in Abuja is already getting overpopulated. So much so that Abuja is encroaching into Nasarawa State, into Niger State, and into Nasarawa and those neighboring states. But the truth is that whatever it is you do now to the green areas is going to affect us as a nation, as a whole, as time goes on. There is a need for us to go into these conservations and ensure that the creation care is being pursued vigorously. Else, we are facing this global warming and extremism in weather as a result of the activities of man. If you don't follow these tenets of ensuring that the environment is being protected, the conservation procedures are being followed, and judiciously, we're going to reach a point where we make our communities, our environment uninhabitable. Some of these challenges we're having as a result of crisis here and there, at times it's been attributed to the fact that we have scarcity of land and scarcity of...
some areas they were reserved for some things to be done has been taken over, has been encroached on, and the rest of it. I think there's a need for us to preserve. The effect of climate change is becoming clearer to us here. And if for nothing, last year was an example of the effect of, we had ample examples of effect of climate change. And I think there's a need for the management. I'm very sure, well, we know the minister of the Federal Capital Territory. If he begins to shine his eye on the green area, but I think there's a need to work on that, and we'll call on the authorities to ensure that the green areas does not disappear in Abuja. So let's go to The Guardian. The Guardian this morning, The Guardian has this story. Oluwafori Ogiame Atuwa said they thought a monarch truly worth celebrating. That is the spotlight on the Oluwafori on the Guardian Weekend. We also have robust town-gown relationship, key to having up-to-date curriculum. That is Odusonya. Odusonya has that to say. Then we also have this story that says movement condemns Boko's killings as death toll rise to 50. It's very sad. This is not the first time. I remember 2018, went to Bokos. After there was this attack that happened in Bokos around May, thereabout, Bokos, Barkin Ladi, in 2018, thereabout. And I went to there. I went as an NGO to deliver some stuff to them, and I was sad. The stories I heard from the victims. As a matter of fact, the Salah of that year, I spent it in Bokos local government area and Barkin Ladi. I was shuffling from Barkin Ladi to Bokos to Jos, and I spoke with the IDPs. And you hear the the stories. You see a child who's said that they went to the farm. They were at home. There was a girl that was now orphan. She went to the farm. She was at home. The parents went to the farm when this trouble started. The parents had to come back home to come save them, and they ran away. They say, okay, eventually they were able to locate their parents, but one of their last born was not found. The mother was crying. The father had to go back. They've not seen him to date. They've not
seen the last born.
They later found the last born. The mother too, while trying to go and search for she also lost. That is how they lost their father and their mother. Different stories of what happened and the rest of it. And I'm beginning to wonder why humans so heartless to other humans.
That is the way it is in these days. The wickedness being perpetrated by man against another man is unthinkable. It is animalistic. You will see what an animal will not do to another animal is what a human being is doing to another human being. It's a mockery of our civilization, and the worst thing is that we use our funds, our hard-earned money that we're supposed to use to develop the society and the communities that we belong to buy arms that are so sophisticated. If you hear the money used to purchase these arms, they are enough to build primary schools and secondary schools and decent hospitals and decent facilities for the community to benefit. But somebody will choose to buy those arms and use it to kill another human being and leave our communities undeveloped for reasons that only God knows why. So there is a need for us to come back to the drawing board and begin to think like humans. Because I saw one quote somewhere, say that thing that makes us a human being is that extra sense, that extra intelligence to be able to decipher what is good and bad. So by the time you begin to not to be able to differentiate between evil up to the extent of killing another human being for whatever reasons, you cease to become a human being, you become something else.
That's it. And okay, on The Guardian, we have this story, a public asset or personal monuments, why politicians should stop naming projects after themselves and cronies. Let me take that story. I think I'm interested in this story. In recent years, politicians have been naming public infrastructure after themselves or their cronies, where they practice a political culture where leaders use facilities built with public funds to solidify their place in history is being enthroned gradually. This report it says that all of residents built at the University of Lagos through a constituency project facilitated by Femi Gbajabiamila, when he was Speaker of the House of Representatives, was named after him. The project was not funded with his personal money, but through public funds provided for in the budget. In 2019, the Northeast Children Trust, an initiative aimed at providing educational support to children of Boko Haram insurgency, established a learning center in Maiduguri. The center was named Vice President Yemi Osinbajo Learning Center, where Osinbajo was still in office. And in December 2024, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno State named a newly built 500 housing estate in Njiptilo, Maiduguri, after Mimala Buni, the governor of Yobe State. In Ebonyi State, the David Umahi International Market Abakaliki was named after Umahi, now the Minister of Works, when he was governor of the state. A university built during Umahi's administration as governor of Ebonyi State was also named after him. And in 2023, a 21-story business complex built by former Governor Odom Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom. You keep seeing that going on and on and on and on about people building projects and naming it after themselves or their friends and cronies in order to make them relevant. These things are not as if they sponsored those projects. It is built by public funds. How do we balance this?
On a lighter note, I don't know. They should keep building and keep naming it. I don't have any problems with the naming. After all, even in Europe, you see places like JF Kennedy.
But those people don't name those things after themselves.
But whatever it is, let's admit that if projects would keep coming up and they keep naming them after, I don't have any problem
the projects are not coming up. That is why Nigerians are even worried about this.
Yeah, when there are no projects, then
the only one you build, you name it after yourself. That is the problem.
Well, what else do you, as it stands, let's see how it goes. But most likely, personally, I don't have any problem.
I have problem. That is why we look at public funds like it's our personal funds. That is why you have this proprietary attitude over funds. I am the governor. It is my money. I will do this. No, it is not you. It is your duty to get it done. And when you do it, it is not something that even you should be clapped for. You have done your duty. If you have done your duty, I think if we begin to see public service as a duty,
as duty
and not as service, and not that I'm doing you a favor. You are not doing me. You asked for the job and you were given the job. And even if you are appointed, you have the right to accept or to reject this appointment. So when these things are done, let people come after you. Look at what you've done and immortalize you. Not using government funds to build. And sometimes you look at some of these projects. It is just for face saving alone. What they do, what is necessary. You have roads in that connect communities that you are supposed to build. You won't build it. You go into the middle of a place where in the next 30 years the road will be free. You build a flyover there and you name it after yourself. And because you want to immortalize your name. You want the bridge to be named after you. Meanwhile, 90% of the roads that connect the local governments are not tarred. These are just some of the things that if we should begin to know, there's no need for these names as far as I'm concerned. In the future, let people wake up and say, this man 20 years ago did this great thing. Let us name it. And if you want to name anything after yourself, build it with your money.
The problem with Nigerians is that at times we are not that sincere. At times we draw up sentiments where sentiment should not be drawn up from. If you allow it not to be named after you, you discover that nobody will remember that you were the one that suffered for it.
No.
But
you didn't suffer for it.
No,
you did not suffer for it. You asked for that job. You told us you will do that job. And you are doing it. It is not suffering. You are doing what you are supposed to do.
No matter what you try to pursue, there are instances where you understand that there are options. If you want to develop roads, because there is no way a state will have enough money to build all the roads in the state. Now, by the time you choose another one, you may have your reasons. Somehow politics play into these things. I saw one report this morning before we come to the studio of how a project that was started during Rabi Musa Kwankwaso's administration in Kano was abandoned during Ganduje, and now the sitting governor of Kano is going back, and they are mentioning it that project that was pursued by Kwankwaso, I am now coming back to complete it. It was abandoned. Now they were trying to whip up sentiment against the fact that Ganduje prioritized other places. They're using it for politics. Now. Okay, we love you more than Ganduje did, because our Kwankwaso, who is a member of a political party, started the road and go. So that is how it goes. If the governor decides to choose road A and finish it, that is my personal opinion. If you choose road E, finish it, name it after yourself. I don't care. So long as the road is built in a way that keep naming all the roads.
Now the problem is that they don't even prioritize road. What they do is that they prioritize how to name themselves. I've seen cases whereby economic nerve of a state is abandoned in order to build something in a strategic place where the whole world can see that I did this. Now it is a waste of public fund. It's a total waste. In order to please yourself, your ego, you go build. Look at, there was a time someone was building statues all over Imo State, and when another person came and used government to demolish what I should have been to. This is madness.
You should have just allowed those.
You should have
because it costs another money to
destroy it. So these are the things that we're talking about, and with this, I think we will just round up this segment of the morning show. We'll discuss a lot of things. It's a Saturday, but just like I said, I watch out for the Arsenal today. They are going to defeat Everton in the toughest.
Well, I wish you people the best.
Okay, you wish us the best. So we are going to go into a segment that has to do with children. So if you have your kids around, you're a lover of children, you're young, you're at heart, please stay tuned because we are going to bring someone that is going to, I think, teach us, even as parents, what to do with our kids. It's going to be a very, very interesting segment on the morning show. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and call your kids, let them come around and watch the next segment on the morning show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Oh, you? Okay.
Decision to establish the company was actually born out of a burden for travelers to Jalingo, especially from Abuja. And I saw that need and tried to reach out to existing transport companies to fill the gap, but they were not forthcoming. And so I decided to go into it myself. That is the main essence of this company, to connect Taraba State to other parts of the country, especially Abuja and Yola, comfortably for executive travelers.
We offer executive services to both individuals and group of people. The kind of services we render depends on the needs in which our customers wishes for us to offer. Either wedding, conferences, ambulance services or car hire services, we ensure that we give you the very best of service.
We offer shuttle services. We started with Jalingo Yola. And right now, as I'm talking to you, we are already looking out for a terminal in Abuja, because Abuja route is actually the ultimate. That was the motivation behind the establishment of the company, so that travels between Abuja and Jalingo can be done comfortably. So we are trusting God that by April, before the end of April, we will start the Abuja route. We are already looking out for a terminal. And so that is the basic thing. And we go into car hire services too. You can hire our Sena buses, you can hire our Hummer buses, you can also hire our ambulances. So we have all these types of vehicles in place. And I want to say here, what I mean by travel in comfort is that if you are traveling with our Sienna bus, for example, we don't take more than 5 passengers on our shuttle trips. But if you hire it, we allow you to take up to 6 passengers. In other words, 3 people can sit at the back, 2 at the center and 1 in front. But if it is through our shuttle services, it's only 5.
We ensure we take off on time and also arrive on time, most especially for our airport passengers that would love to catch up with a flight to their various destinations. And also we provide comfort and relaxation. All our vehicles are fully air-conditioned vehicles.
RU Executive Transport, a transportation company ready to change the transportation narrative in Taraba State and Nigeria at large, bringing comfort, safety and reliability. Witness their impact on the people, the economy and Nigeria's transportation future.
RU Executive Transport Company was actually incorporated sometime in 2024, and the decision to establish the company was actually born out of a burden for travelers to Jalingo, especially from Abuja. And I saw that need and tried to reach out to existing transport companies to fill the gap, but they were not forthcoming. And so I decided to go into it myself. That is the main essence of this company, to connect Taraba State to other parts of the country, especially Abuja and Yola, comfortably for executive travelers.
We offer executive services to both individuals and group of people. The kind of services we render depends on the needs in which our customers wishes for us to offer. Either wedding, conferences, ambulance services, or car hire services, we ensure that we give you the very best of service.
We offer shuttle services. We started with Jalingo Yola. And right now, as I'm talking to you, we are already looking out for a terminal in Abuja, because Abuja route is actually the ultimate. That was the motivation behind the establishment of the company, so that
Welcome back to the morning show on Some TV. Just like I said before we went on that break, I said that we are going to bring in a guest. And I told you to bring in your children, call the young ones around you. And if you're young as how you should come if you love the English language, if you want to learn the diction, phonetics, and the rest of it. And you also want to have fun with the English language, you should come around. It's going to be a very, very interesting segment of the morning show. And I'm going to introduce someone to you. This person is an expert teacher of the English language, a certified teacher by the British Council, an educator, and is a lot packaged into one person. And I'm going to introduce him. He's Mr. Suleiman Yusuf, popularly known as Mr. Sly. Mr. Sly, you're welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here as well.
Okay.
It's a privilege to be here at Some TV, you know. I mean, being the first private TV station, am I correct?
Well, the best private TV station.
Of course. I'm happy to be here, and we're going to talk on how...
Let us know who is Mr. Sly, who is Mr. Suleiman Yusuf first.
Okay, Mr. Suleiman Yusuf is an expert teacher of the English language, and I came into this fortunate land of Taraba State in 2013 as a core member, and ever since then I've stayed back. I've believed that there's something, a particular role, an important role I have to play here. It's not just coming here by chance, and so I've been here. I've taught in some of the best schools in the state, and then I'm a certified teacher by the British Council. I've done a lot of trainings with them in the area of teaching the International English Language Testing System, that's IELTS, and then Greek checkpoint examinations. And so I've designed a lot of learning materials for children to develop rich language communication skills. And then ever since, I've been trying to come up with different ideas and concepts to help children in Taraba State develop what we call sound basic literacy skills. When we talk about reading, becoming proficient readers, to read fluently, to speak fluently as well, and to write constructively. And so that's exactly what we're looking at. And so that's basically what I do and what I love doing.
Okay, I think for the benefit of the audience, the viewers out there, let me ask, are you a Nigerian?
Oh, of course, I'm a Nigerian. I love being a Nigerian. I've always been a Nigerian.
Okay, I'm asking this question so that we wouldn't probably I'm speaking to a British person, because now your diction, the way you sound, I believe a lot of people will wonder. Now, how do we get to the point where we can have? I know a lot of people want to sound like you and want their kids. How do we go about this?
Okay, it has to do with a lot of practicing. It has to do with a lot of practicing. We must agree and accept the fact that the English language is a global language, is the #1 language of the world. And then this particular language has a lot to do with
your progress when it has to do with being relevant globally. Now, what a lot of Nigerians must know, a lot of parents must know, that for your children to actually sound fluent, to speak the English fluently, they must undergo several practices in the area of diction and pronunciation practice. And then they must have opportunity to use materials that are internationally certified. And then you need an expert teachers like people like myself and other interesting and excellent teachers of the English language out there. I'm not the only one. And so it is good for children to start early.
Okay.
So when they start early, they become excellent speakers of the English language. And so that's exactly how we go about it.
Okay, you said something about starting early. Now, what programs do we have for this? Do you have? At least I know that we have something very big for the children, for the kids in Jalingo here, and for those watching all over the world, all over Nigeria, at the Fun English Language Club. Now, what is the Fun English Language Club all about?
Okay, the Fun English Language Club, it's just a group of enthusiastic teachers and fun-loving learners that come together to practice how to use globally acceptable standard English language. When we're talking about globally acceptable or standard English language, we are not actually talking about the English language that we hear around when we go to every nook and cranny in Nigeria. You know, we have the Nigerian English. So we're looking at several meetings where young people are gathered together and are taught to speak English fluently, to read fluently as well, and to write constructively, using the most interesting ways and activities and tasks and games. Because when you look at children learn best when they are engaged in a very meaningful and something that allows them to enjoy themselves in a playful way. And so that's what the English Language Club is all about. It's a platform where we bring children together, children between the ages of 5 to 10 to they're about 12, 15. We're talking about very young children. We bring them together and then we'll learn how to use globally acceptable English language using the most interesting ways and activities and games. We don't just come to learn the English language in the way we've always done in our classrooms. It's entirely different this time.
Okay.
So when we come under the Fun English Language Club, what we do basically is to have activities just like we have in the program that is known as Sesame Street. I don't know if you can still remember Sesame Street. Back in the days,
Buddy.
Yes, back in the days when we used to have Sesame Street, we used to have very interesting activities and tasks that involve children to play and enjoy themselves while learning.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very interactive learning opportunity. We don't just come here, I don't hold a marker or a chalk to write on the board. We come together, we have fun, we sing rhymes, we sing songs, we practice sounds, we play games that will help these learners develop rich vocabulary, very rich pronunciation and diction. And then before you know it, children will start practicing all that they've learned during the club. So that is basically what the Fun English Language Club is. It's like the Sesame Street, but for our children in Taraba State and children in the world that are watching this interesting program.
Talking about, let me just divert a little, talking about Sesame Street. I up to date whenever I eat biscuits. There's this character that comes to my mind, that is the Cookie Monster.
The Cookie Monster.
The Cookie Monster. That character. Yeah. Whenever I chew biscuits, because I want to watch the Cookie Monster devouring. As I have found out, why is this guy just wasting? The
cookies.
Wasting the cookies. You have Elmo, you have Big Bird, you have Ernie, Count, and Grover, and the rest of them. So what do you have segments whereby you have this prepared? You create this because I believe that some of the things I learned while young on programs like Sesame Street was because I could relate with the character. characters.
Very
So are you going to be creating things, those characters that we will remember 30 years later, 40 years later?
Of course. Yes. We're going to be having a very, very interesting, very exhilarating moment in the Fun English Language Club. I'm telling you, our kids in Taraba State are going to have the best of times learning English language. And looking at, considering the fact that the governor of the state is passionate about qualitative education.
Okay.
He's out for it. So a program like ours coming up on some TV wants to make sure that that particular vision is achieved. You get what I'm saying, sir? And talking about these characters, we have different interesting segments in Fun English Club. We're going to be having interactive moments using the puppets, using some of the puppets you just talked about, like the monster in Sesame Street, like the Big Bird. We want to bring in, we're going to have animations, we're going to have animated characters, we're going to have children will be given opportunities for them to be part of their own show. So when they do that, when they're given opportunity to be part of their own show, they learn excellently well doing that. So we're going to have a lot of puppets, a lot of characters. We're going to have very, very interesting segments. You're going to hear a voiceover because many children, just like while you were growing up, you never believed that puppets were not living things. You thought the puppets, the monster, the big birds, all of these characters that we see in several TV shows for children, we think they are alive.
Yes.
So because of the role they play in the show, we tend to get connected to them, and then we tend to really learn. And so in Fun English Language Club, we're going to have a lot of segments. One of our segments has to do with what we call Let's Say It Right. Let's say it right. There are a lot of words that we don't say correctly. We have many words that are commonly mispronounced among Nigerians, and our learners, our children, pick up these bad pronunciation and use of these words from adults among us who have not learned to say them correctly, and these children just believe that this is the way to say the words correctly, but they aren't so we have Let's Say It Right. We have the magic phonic box. That is an interesting, a very interesting aspect of that Fun English Club, the magic phonic box, where we play around different sounds. The knowledge of the sounds help children to know how to say the words correctly and helps them with their early reading skills. It helps them with that. We also have what we call the story time. A lot of children will enjoy the story time. We read different interesting stories. We ask different questions. We even ask children to mimic the characters from the stories.
Okay, that's good.
So we have a lot of interesting segments in Fun English Language Club.
Okay, now you've spoken about proper dictions, pronunciations, and the rest of it. But there's an influence of mother tongue on our English. And we're a product of our environment.
Of course. Yeah,
so how do we balance we being Nigerians, speak like Nigerians, being Naija?
Yes, a typical Naija.
Typical Naija. And we also speaking correctly. So how do we balance it? Where do you place the place of the influence of mother tongue on speaking?
There isn't anything that we can do about our mother tongue. Our mother tongue is there. It's our mother tongue. Is our first language. The English language is not our first language. The English language is Nigeria's lingua franca. It's the second language, and that's why Nigeria is rated as what we call the ESL, English as second language. English is not our first language. It's not our native language. So we have the EFL, English as first language. They are the native speakers. We have the English, the Americans. We have the Australians. These are people whose first language is the English language. So talking about this, there's always influence of the mother tongue. But we have a lot of Nigerians that have spent several years in places like the United Kingdom, in places like the USA, and when they give back to their children over there, these children come back to Nigerians not speaking like Nigerians. They may be Nigerians because by birth, of course, by birth they are Nigerians, but they were not born and brought up in the same environment like we have been brought up. So, and that's why we need a program like this to help our growing up children whose parents don't have the opportunity to take them abroad, to take them to the UK, to US, to expose them to very rich learning opportunity where they are introduced to the rules of saying the words correctly, the rules of speaking fluently, the rules of reading and writing constructively. So it has to do with a lot of pronunciation practice, diction practice, and these must be consistent. When we have it, when children are part of it, when we have it in an enjoyable and very exciting ways and interesting ways and games and activities, I'm telling you, our children will start speaking fluently. But the influence of the mother tongue will still be there, because when you go out in our society, you still interact with people who speak like the typical Nigerians. So we have what they call the Nigerian English.
Okay,
Yes.
let me go back. I know maybe someone out there may just be wondering, how does this affect who I am or what I do? Okay, let me give there's something. How does it makes me a better person in what I do? Okay, now for example, how does this? We've seen people rise up to be the president of this country without them speaking proper diction. So we have to look at what are the advantages of their speaking English the correct way. So what I want you to do now, I'm not trying to mimic the past president, but say, what is the assurance? Yes, speaking well, assure us now that when I speak English correctly, it makes me a better person.
Yes, of course. Just like I said earlier when we started, I told you that it's the #1 global language.
Okay.
Now, there are a lot of advantages attached to the fact that English is the #1 language of the world. Now, I want a lot of our parents out there and our viewers to get this fact correctly, that the English language is becoming more relevant every day. And then you continue to discover that when you want to have what we call global interactiveness, then you must achieve certain level of excellence in using the global language.
Definitely.
I cannot speak English like a typical Nigerian will always speak the English language, and you expect someone that's from a native speaking country like the US to really understand and get exactly what I'm saying. So we have different intonation, different pronunciation, and different attitudes when we speak the language. So you stand to benefit a lot when you have developed your communication skills. You pronounce words correctly. I'll give you an instance. We have a word like vegetable. A lot of Nigerians will say vegetable. Okay?
Yes.
And so you will discover that when you want to speak to someone that isn't a Nigerian, that person may not get you clearly or correctly. Are you saying vegetable or you are saying vegetable? So there are a lot of words that commonly mispronounced. And apart from that, a lot of Nigerians are gaining opportunities to work remotely.
Definitely.
I'm an online teacher. I have a lot of kids I teach online. I have some kids in the UK. I teach some kids in the UK, and when I speak, they understand me clearly, they get me, they kind of understand what I'm saying, because I pronounce words correctly, and I carry along the attitude. There's what we call intonation. A lot of Nigerians don't use intonation. We speak on a flat tone. I give, for instance, a lot of our children are always saying, biscuit. My father bought some biscuit for me, and the word is biscuit. Okay. It's not biscuit. You get what I'm saying? And so, for you to access global opportunity, you need to standardize your use of the English language, because it's a global language. We continue to complain that there aren't jobs in Nigeria. Yes, there are no jobs in Nigeria, but you can gain jobs. You can work in Nigeria remotely as a Nigerian, and then work in an international company while still in Nigeria. You can gain opportunity to work in the US and the UK. For instance, if you're a doctor and you want to work in the UK, you have to take what we call the IELTS. It's called International English Language Testing System. They don't believe that you are an excellent speaker of the language until they test you and they are able to certify that you can use the English language proficiently. So there's a need for that. Global opportunities, number one. In fact, these days, people continue to talk about artificial intelligence. Do you know that if you're unable to construct correct or meaningful sentence, there's no way you can use the AI?
Definitely.
You want to ask the AI to design a proposal or to help you with a particular document, and you're saying, I beg AI, write wetin I go do. AI does not understand. I beg AI, write wetin I go do. That's pidgin English.
Yeah, and even if you write it to bring it out in pidgin English.
It will bring it out in pidgin English. And we have a lot of people there globally who don't understand pidgin English. We've got different, they call it Englishes. When you hear some professionals in the field of English, they tell you have different Englishes. You have different types. When the Chinese speak English, you say kudos to the Nigerian speaker of the English language. Because I have a kid that I'm teaching in China right now. He does not really get it. When I speak, it's as if I'm an American speaking to him. But I'm just a Nigerian. And so it is good to work on your pronunciation, the ability to write clearly and constructively, because we have a lot of these innovations that are coming our ways these days that we must interact with. And one of the languages in the world that you use to interact with these new innovations like the AI is the English language.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Suleiman Yusuf. And just like for those of us out there, you should know that, yes, Mr. Suleiman Yusuf on Some TV, we're going to come up with a very, very interesting kiddies program for you. And so watch out, we would announce the time and the time for the program shortly once everything is done. So you should let your kids know that yes, something very, very good is coming for them on Some TV. And it's not only for the kids, it's an opportunity for the adults to learn. It's an opportunity for you to learn, because if you learn, then you have a way of also teaching your kids at home, because there is no point undoing everything the kids learn. When you will teach, when the kids learn, and then they go back home and you undo it, because they keep what you say, they listen to what you say, and they watch what you do, and they tend to learn faster when they tend to learn faster at home, because it's a more relaxed environment. So we'll be having segments for schools, for those who want to join the club and the rest of it. So before we go, what else do you have for us? What other information do you have for us?
Okay, I would like parents to, and especially parents to get ready for the Fun English Language Club. It's really going to be fun. And then apart from being fun, you are going to literally just watch your child develop from this very poor use of the English language to becoming an excellent speaker, excellent reader and writer of the English language, because it's a global language, and through the Fun English Language Club, I'm telling you, these will definitely happen, okay? We have a lot of children out there have got opportunities to go to very expensive schools. We have a lot of children out there whose parents can afford schools like the Lead British School in Abuja, Regent School in Abuja. We have a school right now in Lagos, Charterhouse, where parents pay around 26 million naira yearly. And so one of the medium of instruction, the language that children are taught with over there is the English language. But when your children sit before the television to watch the Fun English Language Club and participate in the activities, you'll be surprised what the outcome will be. These children will speak fluently. These children will write constructively. They will speak better than Mr. Suleiman himself. And then, so I want to urge all parents out there to get ready to enroll their children into the Fun English Language Club. Okay, you enroll your child becomes a member of the Fun English Language Club. They come around. We introduce a lot of interesting and very educating content to them to help them develop their communication skills. And that is exactly what the Fun English Language Club is all about. We want to make sure that the vision of the governor of the state is realized in the area of qualitative education. That's exactly what we're looking at. And that is exactly what the Phone English Language Club here is coming to do. Children wouldn't know how to read. Through our phonic magic box, they will learn how to read. We also have a lot of materials we'll be giving away, a lot of storybooks we'll be giving away to our participants, members of the club, to help them, engage them in what we call pleasure reading. So the more you read, a better reader you become.
Okay.
So that's exactly.
So that is it for the Fun Children Club. So we also, like you know, Fun English Language Club. We're ready. We're open for partnership with our private organizations, individuals, the government, MDAs. We're open for participation, and we are here to also support the vision of the governor of Taraba State, advocate for us, ensuring qualitative education for everyone in Taraba. As long as you live in Taraba, he has declared free education. So this is part of Some TV and the Fun English Club. This is part of our own contribution to the development of our education in Taraba State. I have a message here from someone, and this is a funny one. The name is James. This message is from James. James from Kano. He said, are you a Nigerian? And how many Nigerian languages do you speak? Can you speak some of those languages in Pidgin English so that we can be sure that you're Nigerian, and that will inspire us to know that, yes, even despite the fact that we can speak Nigerian language, I think what the person is trying to say, he wants to be sure you're Nigerian. So do you speak any Nigerian language?
Of course, I speak Hausa fluently. In fact, the Hausa that I speak...
Okay, just to so that we don't think you're British or American. Tell us good morning, Hausa. Good morning. Which other language do you speak?
I speak Hausa, I speak Yoruba, and I speak the Pidgin English.
Okay, now, English, Pidgin English, Yoruba, Hausa. A sentence each so that we can be sure.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, in Pidgin English, we speak it regularly. On my phone, I wait in the apple. When I good morning, When I Fun English Language Club, we talk about this show will help on our Pekin learn how to speak English fluently. Even pastor, you will get the language, Abby.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now in Hausa.
Yanzu muna son ne iyaye su san ce wanga program da za a kawo watan Fun English Language Club inda yara za su koya iya turanci, iya karatu kaman how do we put it? What of course.
Yoruba language.
So, afẹ́kẹ́ mọ̀ àwọn òbí tẹ́ ń wo program wa ní Some TV pé program yìí fáwọn ọmọdé ni á jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ yín kí wọ́n mọ òyìnbó sọ bí àwọn òyìnbó gangan tí wọ́n ní èdè náà.
Oh, that's good. I think this deserves. Okay, now we are sure that he is a Nigerian and he speaks. So the fact that he speaks other language has nothing to do with him speaking. So for those of us that may think, probably because we are Nigerians, we may not be able to speak as good. He has proven it that he can speak three Nigerian native languages: the Pidgin English, Yoruba, and Hausa. And I think that does it for that. So thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf Suleiman. I'm very sure viewers, they are looking forward to the Fun English to the program. And we also at Some TV, we are very happy to show that yes, we are supporting our education in Taraba, Nigeria. So thank you very much for coming, Mr. Suleiman Yusuf. Thank for having you, and I think very soon you'll be a regular face on on Some TV. Thank you very much. I have your handshake here. So I think with this we'll come to the end of the morning show on Some TV. This is the Saturday edition of the morning show. It's a more relaxed edition, and we've had a very, very interesting discussion. And I would like to say thank you to everyone that participated in today's morning show. For those of you that are out there watching us, and for those that are in the studio that ensure that this program went on well, I will have with me In the studio, Mr. Moses, the studio manager, who's just standing right across us to ensure that we have the best camera view. And also in the master control operator, Mr. Lazarus Mishak, also in the studio. And also we have Mr. Iradane Kokwen, the director of news, who was with me earlier to do analysis of the newspapers on the newspapers, the dailies. And also we have the CEO, who is the executive producer of the morning show. And we also want to thank Mr. Yusuf Suleiman, who has brightened up the program with the way he has been able to make us see the need for us to speak proper English. So thank you very much. Other programs continues on Sun TV. Have a wonderful day.